welcome back to another great show. This is Each One Teach One. My name is Isan. I am the founder and CEO of the organization Ulon. And today we're going to be going hard. Make sure that you guys call on in if you got any questions or you want to, comment on the show as always, 312-738-1060. Today's special guest, we have my boy in the house, you know what I'm saying, Javier, how you doing, a.k.a. Chino. He's going to be going over some things. Now, what we always do, we want to build, the bridge between all of our different supporters and groups out there in Chicago. Tonight, we're going to be doing, we do Pilsen, we do different areas of our Spanish, brothers and sisters. And tonight, representing us is my boy, Javier, a.k.a. Chino. It's good seeing you. We go way back. Yeah. And I'd like to discuss some of the things that you have going on and where it's at. You know what I'm saying? So, go ahead, you got the floor, brother.
Well, we got a few projects going on right now. Actually, I'm a program director for the Youth Advocate Program, where we work with Chicago's most at-risk. Our contract is funded through the Justice Advisory Council.
Okay.
And we work with intensive probation. All our young people are gang affiliated and gun charges.
This was, okay.
So right now we got 30 of them that we're working with. We just did a program through the University of Illinois at Chicago,
okay.
a GED program, which 15 of them, passed it and now ready to go take that state test.
Okay.
I also run a life coaching system in Humboldt Park called Both Sides of the Park Empowerment Center.
Okay.
Where we basically focus on mind, making sure that young brothers understand mentally where it is they're at and where they want to go in life, help them do a business plan, set some short-term goals from 1 year to 5 years. We have a gym there. We also work on the body.
I remember that. I remember coming down there and seeing the whole, setup. It was really nice. And what surprised me is that it was right in the hood. You know what I'm saying? It's something that people don't usually, when you have these kind of centers, because you don't really have that many places where people can go anymore. But you had a establishment that's actually in Humboldt Park.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it was really a treat to go there and see that. And I was really impressed to see all the young guys coming in. You know what I'm saying? That you actually physically touched their lives. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, man, much love on that.
Right. So it's right in Humboldt Park. It's 2448 West Division, right by the First Flag by Western. It's a fourfold program. It's to bring balance to the young brothers, like I said, to their mental state, their emotional state, their physical self, and their spiritual self. Okay. To try to bring a balance to those four entities. Because I believe if you have good balance, understanding of who you are physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, you have a better chance in life.
Exactly. That's a really good
And
point.
all our life coaches are, I'm telling you, we have like 5 that volunteer. And between them 5 is like 128 years of prison time.
Okay.
So these are your older individuals that have been through what these young brothers going through.
Right.
It's like...
So they actually listen to them.
Right. It's like Alcohol Anonymous class. When you go to an AA class, 99% of the time, the one giving the class is somebody who's been through that struggle of being an alcoholic.
Exactly.
So they know the pitfalls, they know what the temptations are. Same thing with these life coaches we have. We need these young brothers who are out there really putting in that work, because there can be an organization of 100 individuals, but really 10 to 15 of them are putting that work in.
Exactly.
And those are the ones we try to target to bring them in. We don't preach, get out the gang. We don't preach religion, even though the Lord Jesus Christ is my Savior.
Exactly.
That's my blueprint in life.
Your motivation.
But once they're ready, once the Lord's ready to touch them and bring them that way, that's a relationship between them. And that's not something that we throw into our program. And just have brothers who've been there, done that, and really advocate for them to just let them know they have options. We put those options on the table,
Okay.
Ultimately, they're gonna pick. Like I tell them, we're just a vehicle. If you don't get in that vehicle and drive it, we got to move on to the next that really wants that help, but the doors are always open to the young brothers.
Exactly. So, tell me about the life coaches. How do you find them? What's the first thing? Do they come in? Do they get in touch with? How do you get the life coaches?
It's basically people from the community. I was born and raised in Humboldt Park. I was heavily involved. I've been shot, been locked up, had crazy cases. And being in that lifestyle, you get to know individuals who I was always one that we can come to and talk to. They knew if there was always an issue with anybody I know or somebody I'm close to, Chino's the one to go talk to, because there's some common sense here, And I always knew that the system itself is what making us go against each other. Because never do they want these street organizations to work together in a positive manner,
Right.
to create jobs, to better our community. Every time them people's in power, that 1% sees that, they throw a monkey wrench in there to try to disrupt that.
Exactly.
You know, so I was always a believer of that. You know, so that's why I always peace first and foremost. You know, we're all the same color, we all bleed the same.
Exactly.
So these individuals that are life coaches, individuals I went out and saw. You know, they had similar thinking. They understand that peace is first and foremost, most important. And that's been there, done that, and had some sort of position at one point in time.
Right.
You know, so these young brothers listen to.
Right.
You know, because half the battle is getting their attention.
Exactly.
You know, once we got their attention,
You're doing the same thing that Ulon is doing, so I can truthfully relate.
It's all the same work, man. If we can't get their attention, and like I said, once again, we're preaching to the crowd. You know, you don't go to a Christian church and see a Muslim preacher.
Right.
You know, it's going to be a Christian preacher. Same thing with these young brothers on these streets. And no different than a young brother that graduates from law school or some graduate school. He goes and gets an internship by somebody who's in that field.
Exactly.
You know, so these young brothers that are struggling with their life and trying to find identity, they need to get schooled by somebody who's already been there, has empathy for that situation and where they're at, and you know how they can get out of those pitfalls.
Exactly.
You know?
So let me ask you this: do you have any success stories? Have you had any young guys who you just knew he wasn't gonna make it? You know, because I know we have many different types of races that come to Ulon. But I mean, do you have any success story of someone you just said, "Oh man, this kid right here," and then he ended up surprising you?
Oh yeah, quite a few. I've been doing this work a long time. Even before I was doing both sides of the park in the youth advocate program, I worked at Ceasefire.
Well, explain real quick about both sides of the park so that the people can understand what that means.
Yeah, well, both sides of the park, Humboldt Park itself, for individuals that, you know, that come from the park understand that the park itself, Humboldt Park, was always a dividing line between people and folks. So in Humboldt Park,
which is what? Two gangs?
Yeah, which is two.
Explain. You know,
Yeah, it's two groups
it
that is broken down between a bunch of different gangs. So you know, with the folk nation, you can have 10, 15 individuals on the east side of Sacramento. And on the west side of Sacramento, there's probably another 10, 15 different organizations that run under the Fight Point Star.
Right.
And once again, to me, that was the system. You know, because once upon a time when these organizations were formed, we were doing good things in the community.
Right, exactly.
You know, young brothers were going to school. There wasn't nobody getting robbed in the neighborhood. You know, but once again, when they seen that bondage, that structure, and that potential, you know, that's when all these guns came into our community, when all these drugs came into my community. You know, because how easy, I can give a 16-year-old $300 and he'll go get me a banger. He'll go get me a gun. Exactly. I can give him $400, he'll go give me some China White, some dope, some cocaine, because it's so easily accessible in my neighborhood. But go to West Barrington and see how accessible it is there.
Exactly.
It's not.
So real quick, I mean, you know.
So anyway, once again, on the both sides of the park, so we call it both sides of the park because people that come from the brothers from the west side, oh, you're from that side.
Right.
So nah, man, we're from the same side. That's why we're from both sides. You know what I mean? We need to break that barrier and that image of you're from that side, we're from this side. When we're all the same color, we all bleed the same, we all got the same struggle. Exactly. You know, and the same oppressor that's trying to keep us where we're at.
Okay. Well, listen, real quick, we're going to go to the phone lines because we know the phone lines are blowing up. Caller, you are on the line with us. Each one teach one. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is Ray.
Hey, how you doing, Ray?
Fine. You know, I'm mad as hell right now because my man next to you, speaking from the heart, telling the truth, he's been through all of that stuff. He's trying to get an organization where he keeps the kids off the street and in the classroom.
Right.
But you know what? Where's his backing? Where's his money? It ain't coming from the mayor. It ain't coming from the alderman. So they could talk a good game. But my man right here, I bet you he's struggling, but he don't care because he's doing the right thing for the kids, young kids on the street.
Right.
And I really respect him for that. I respect you also because you brought him on the show. So what I'm trying to say is, man, when are we going to stop spending money crazy and start, you know, supporting organizations like my friend next to you, you know? So that's all I have to say, and thank you.
Appreciate you, Ray.
Thank you for the
like
call.
always, man. Well, you know, Ray does have a good point. I think that all the non-for-profits are basically struggling, you know, and one of the biggest things that I've noticed is that people like us is keep going. You know,
Right.
it really is hard for us. A lot of our funding comes from different sources. But I wanted to touch on something real quick before I forget. So what are some of the things that you have? And I want to kind of focus on your organization today and some of the things that you're doing. So what are some of the things that you're offering right now? You know, kind of let's get into that, like, so that people can know about it, and maybe some people can help with funding eventually, and, you know, saying come to you. What are some of the things you're doing right now?
Well, like I mentioned before, I'm a program director for the Youth Advocate Program. The Youth Advocate Program is a nationally recognized program. So they're touching about 19 different states right now, in
Right.
about 7 different countries. So it's an advocacy program. You can look it up at yapinc.org. You know, you can get funding there. They do great with funding. They have a lot of people who do grant writing, like the gentleman that just called in. It's hard, you know. The Youth Advocate Program, my program right now, the Violence Prevention Program, is funded through the Justice Advisory Council. So they're the ones that are funding that program. My Both Sides of the Park program, it's all volunteer work.
Okay.
I'm also a real estate broker. I've been selling real estate licensed now for 21 years. So a portion of that goes back to
I'm
the
gonna need
community.
that apartment, man. I need
Right.
that home. I need that home, Chino.
So a portion of that goes back to the young brothers and sisters that we serve.
Okay.
You know, you were talking about success stories.
Right.
There's a group that I'm working with now that are shooters.
Right.
I mean, these are young people who in the neighborhood doing their thing, making their money and protecting what they think is their block.
Right.
This group right now, I just got them to open an LLC. There's 3 individuals. Yeah, right now their path is, of course, going that way.
Right.
You know, in order to steer them in the right way, it's got to come from them. I could never sit there, no, look, this is my program. You got to do A, B, and C, and that's it. This is how it is.
Right.
Because everybody's situation is different. Everybody's unique. Everybody got a different struggle. So they make their own individualized service plan. So we sit down, what's your strength, man? What is it that you do well? I mean, what are your weaknesses? What is it you're interested in, and where you want to be at in 5 years?
Right.
Not only mentally, physically, but financially as
Right.
well. If you're in that game of the drug dealing, you have to get out of it because
Right.
there's not too many retired drug dealers out there doing well.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's
No pension in the drug
right,
game. You know what I'm
Right. So
saying?
investing back
No
into the
501k,
neighborhood,
501.
never
Right.
that.
So
They just formed an LLC.
Can you tell them what an LLC is?
It's
exactly?
a limited liability company. It's a corporation. And between the 3 individuals, they put their money in the pot, and they bought a property in West Inglewood.
Okay.
You know, they flipped that property. Now they're opening a tattoo shop.
Wow.
You know, so now they're actually producing for themselves
Right.
legitimately.
Okay.
And that's the idea, so they can see, look, man, we can do this. You know what I mean? Because like I tell them, I'm not telling them anything from what I've learned in a book or what I learned in school. I'm firsthand.
Right.
Now, I wasn't in the very same spot they're in. But now, you know, I have my own real estate business. You know, I'm a program director for a nationally recognized youth advocate program. I have my own empowerment center in Humboldt Park. You know, I'm on the board for the Humboldt Park Little League, not to mention about 4 or 5 other boards from the community.
Right.
So it's about staying heavily involved and you know,
Okay.
making sure they have those resources.
Man, kudos to you, Chino, for coming and doing what you do, because as you know, man, we both come from the same side of the fence, so to speak, from being involved at one time to something that, you know, wasn't too promising to changing our lives and getting, you know, with a whole new program and coming back and helping others. So I just want to, man, commend you on that. I'd like to go to an overhead real quick. So what is this that we have here? I want you to tell me about this real quick, you know.
Okay, you can put it to the camera.
So let's see here. We're going to go to overhead real quick, guys, so that you can kind of get an idea of what's going on. We're going to be moving it around. So this is registration now open. What is this for exactly?
Yeah, this is the Roberto Clemente Little League of Humboldt Park.
Okay.
We run, they're all patched with the National Little League. So if they make the tournament, you know, they can go to the Little League World Series. Right now we're doing registration for all the people. They don't have to be in the Humboldt Park community to be in the in-house league.
Okay.
But if they want to do tournaments where they're going to go to the tournament to actually do the World Series, you know, we'll put them in the right spot.
What is the age range for this?
It's from 3, so we got Pamper League all the way to
Pamper League.
18-year-olds.
I like that, Pamper League.
Right,
Okay.
all the way to 18-year-olds. So
And
you
you
see
guys-
the number there
And this is also the website.
and the
email.
website, yeah.
Okay.
So you know, it's there for the youth.
Okay,
All
make
all
sure you
the
copy
board
this
members,
down.
all the coaches, everybody is working pro bono.
Okay.
You know, we put our time in to make sure the kids do have something to do.
Okay.
Because you know, one of the benefits of understanding their struggles is knowing that once upon a time there was nothing for me to do.
Right. Exactly.
You know, so and just seeing my brothers, my uncles, just the way everything was rolling, that's man, we just went with the flow, you know. But
Exactly.
if we get these kids something positive to work on, and then in these leagues they meet positive friends that are doing positive things, you know, because choosing friends it's a big it's a big part of their life, and that's a big part of what we teach. You know, you can have brothers that you care for that you just know ain't with you on that path. You can love them from far.
Right.
Yeah, I love you, brother, but I'm on something.
Right,
I gotta
I
keep
think
it
that's
moving.
one of the biggest things that I had, you know, personally, that, you know, you had to change your crowd a little bit. Doesn't mean you let people actually go, but you distance in a way that you can still keep communication going. But you have to surround yourself with like-minded individuals that really want to get something out of, you know what I'm saying, life, and they want to. I go for challenges, you know what I'm saying? I try to step up to the challenge that's coming up just so that I can keep going with the same, you know, with new challenges. You know what I'm saying? So I want to get over here real quick to the youth advocate. You know what I'm saying? Let's move that in play. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so we're going back to another overhead. If you guys can see this, in fact, let's turn it this way a little bit. Okay, so tell me a little bit about the youth advocate as far as what's going on here.
So like I said, the Youth Advocate is a nationally recognized program. It's been around for over 50 years. There's their website, yapinc.org. These pictures right here is some of the young brothers I worked with. He was burying his dad, and that picture
that first
there.
picture. So that's this one right here.
Correct. His dad got caught in a drug deal gone bad. They caught him gunned up in a trunk. You know, so it was an emotional thing for him. Luckily that at the time he was in our program, and this kid is actually doing well.
One.
Right. Yeah, he's actually been shot twice as well.
So
Two different.
So that's a success story.
Right,
well.
Definitely a success story. You know, and this kid I worked with, I would say probably about 8-9 years ago.
Okay.
And he was at my house yesterday.
Wow.
Now, these are stuff that we build relationship with these kids. A lot of programming out there don't build relationship, man. They just, you come in, you got to do X, Y, and Z, and here's a certificate. All right. Good luck, kid. You know, you ain't going to get nobody to do none unless you have relationship. These kids trust you, and they understand you coming from the heart, and you're really doing what you're doing for them with no ulterior motive. And the Youth Advocate Program also gives a big chunk of their funding back to the kids. So we buy them school clothes, we buy them gym shoes, we take them out to the movies, we take them out to baseball games. You know, what they need. If mom's lights off, we help them lights get back on. Because there's one kid from Kelvin Park that he was the worst kid in the school. Put him in our program. He was with me, I would say 2 to 3 weeks when he did a 360. That the principal pulled me in her office like, what the heck you did with this kid?
Right.
Honestly, all I did was listen, found out the family situation, put some food, and got their lights turned on in their house. That's it.
That's what's up,
And the
boy.
kid did a 360. Because a lot of these programs, too, they don't go to where they live. You know, you got to go to where they live. You got to see what mom's struggle is, what brother's struggle is, what sister's struggle is, where his friends at. You know, because a lot of programs be scared to go to the neighborhood.
Right.
You know, if you're going to be scared to do this work, and you're never going to build that relationship.
Right.
When he sees, man, big homies coming checking me out in the neighborhood, it's dangerous work, don't get me wrong. We have to keep our heads on a swivel and see what's going on and be aware of our surroundings because of the lifestyle. But that's something that I'm already used to.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm walking into something that I have experience in and I have control of. So I go in with full confidence. And once again, I'm going in doing God's work, man. So there's no fear there, you know, and they see that.
So, Chino, again, how can they contact you to find out more information?
All right, well, you could contact me here at YAP. My email is janaya, which is JANAYA @yapinc.org. So they can reach me there anytime.
Okay. Also, are there any, say for instance, numbers or any type of phone service, answering service where they can leave a message, or what is the best way to contact you?
Yeah, best way would be email, which is my name, Javier Anaya Senior @gmail.com.
Okay, spell
So
it out
that's
for 'em.
JAVIERANAYASR @gmail.com.
Okay. And real quick, man, you got any shout outs you want to give? Anybody that you want to encourage, because people are watching this, all around the world.
Well, I want to give a shout out to the Humboldt Park Little League for the work they do. To me, it's something that's vital in my community because it's keeping our kids busy, and we have a whole lot of kids that join our league every year.
Okay.
I want to give a shout out to the Youth Advocate Program for their endless work that they do. And I've worked with a bunch of different organizations, non-for-profits, and they by far, are definitely on a level on their own. They're out there doing good work and not just keeping the money for themselves. A big chunk of that money goes back to the families.
Okay. That's
Man, and everybody who's out there giving some time, because that's what we're supposed to do.
Exactly.
We're here on this earth to give back. Yeah, we got to make money. Yes, we got to pay our bills. Yes, we got to take care of our family. But we got to care for one another and give back when we can. Because if you're not giving back, you're just taking up space, man.
Exactly.
You're just taking up space.
Well, real quick, I got to give my shout outs, first and foremost, man, my Seashell crew, you guys know I'm my boy Mo, Zuzu, my guys in the back. I got Fred Izzle, Sean Izzle, my two girls, Jatan, Jackie, Tamir. Who else we got? Carrie, then my big guys, my boys that got my right hand. I would say Big G, Aaron, Deion Tone, KC, Steve, Sanchez, all they got my new guy Jesse, man, love you. You guys, man, help keep me going through the day, man, so that's what's up. But real quick, man, I want to say, let's focus real quick on you real quick before we wind it up real quick. What started you off? You went through the same thing that I did, right? We was on the other side of the fence. How on earth did you get to where you are now? What was your pivotal point? What made you change your whole mindset?
Well, my kids. I have 5 boys. My oldest is already 25. So at that time, I had 2 homes. I had a home in the neighborhood and a home with my family.
Right.
Until I really realized what was going on. It was shame. I didn't want my son doing what I was doing. So I was kind of being hypocritical, So just that awakening there and not wanting my son to follow my path, because I had a crazy case,
right.
You know what I mean? And that really was the eye-opener. I was, thank God I was able to have money to pay some good lawyers and get up out that case. But, I've always been in this type of work, even when I was heavily involved in these streets. Because like I said, I've always been a proponent for peace. Because I always understand that if we're going to prosper, it's just going to take more than just me and my guys.
Exactly.
It's going to take a unified front to prosper. So I've always been doing this work since I was a young teen. You know what I mean? It's always been in my heart. And, from there on, Ceasefire was one of the first ones that approached me.
My boy T.O.
Yeah, boy T.O.
Hardeman, who actually running for governor now.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so T.O. and Ceasefire approached me because they see the type of work that I was doing for free. I wasn't out in these streets saying, okay, I'm going to do this, but you got to give me a job.
Right.
No, I was doing this because we're saving lives.
Right.
We're making a better community where we live,
Exactly.
So then from there, it just, it found me, let's say.
Right.
It was just my calling,
Okay. That's like the name of the game, man.
Right.
People actually change their lives because I feel it's a calling,
Right. Right.
Sometimes you can't even fight it. So, again, real quick, you guys, I know the phone line's still blowing up, but you can hit us at 312-738-1060. So, before we wrap this up, I want to say that, man, it's been an honor. I remember going to your place, and one of the things, one of the things that I noticed real quick when I did go to your place is that the doors were open, meaning that people could come in. So, how is that working far as, do people get scared to come in? Do people actually think that it may be state funded or something, or do they think is your doors open at all times, and what are your hours?
Right. Doors ain't open at all times because once again we're self-funded. When it comes to both sides of the park, Empowerment Center, we have no city funding, no state funding.
Go to this real quick
It's all self-funded. So I ain't out there begging nobody for money.
Right.
My life coaches that are putting work in with me are doing it out the love of their heart. And let's say these 3 individuals that just opened the LLC, everything they purchase as far as real estate, and I do make money off of that, goes right back into helping the next group.
Okay.
Or form their LLC because there's fees behind all that, and I help them get them fees so that way they can start that motion of that legal trade and understand that they can make as much, if not more, legally and keep themselves safe, keep the community safe, and be pillars in their neighborhood instead of destroying it, you know?
Okay. So 5 years from now, I know we talk about that to the people that are, joining us. What about you, Chino? 5 years from now, what's your success story? Where would you like to be in 5 years from now? Realistically.
Realistically, 5 years from now, I want to be semi-retired, you know? My goal is another 10 years to be fully retired. But, just keep doing the work I do, man. Stay blessed. I don't ask for much. Everybody knows I have an open door policy. Hey, look, if you want to help yourself, I'm gonna push for you. You know what I mean? But people gotta really want that help. Because there's a lot of kids that we work with that, I just gotta give them a hug, man. I'll holler at you later, young brother, because I know they ain't ready. The 5 years, like I said, just be able to still do what I do, be healthy, and be able to praise my Lord, man. That's all I ask for.
Man, that's what's up. So in wrapping up, I want to say real quick, too, that we still have the Ulon Women's Shelter open up. I want you guys to reach out to us, 312-834-8020. Also, if you call 312-834-8020, you didn't get a chance to get the information that we gave out tonight for Chino and the different purpose, both sides of the park, and the other things that he has going on as far as numbers and emails, I would definitely give that to you. So again, 312-834-8020. And if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see Ulon.Life. That's our personal website that goes out to everybody. If you're looking for a job, you're looking for any type of resources that Chicago has, or to find out more about Ulon, and we're going to be posting up a lot of stuff that the Chino is doing, as well as some of the flyers and everything that he has. Want to close out real quick, say something before we go, something encouraging to someone who might be listening?
Man, all I want to say is, we need more people to go out there and help. You got a lot of these Monday quarterbacks, they should have did this, they could do that. Man, it takes as simple as opening your door, walking out to them streets, and reaching out to one of these young people. And you don't know, maybe the words you give them, or maybe just a plate of food may change their life, or just open your heart, man. We got to open and be more neighbors, because nowadays you can have a neighbor right next to you for 5 years and not even know their name no more.
Right.
Everybody's putting them horse blinders on. We need to take it off. If we want to make a difference, it's going to take everybody, because if everybody does this much, it'll go a long way. So that's my word to everybody, is get out there and help, man. If you see somebody in need, somebody struggling, don't take it like that's not my problem, because it could somehow go around 360 and affect you in some way. So when you have the chance to help somebody in need, man, go for it 100%, man.
And as always, everyone has, a better half, somebody that's been there, along the way. Do you have somebody in your corner? I know somebody came and support,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Well, I got my beautiful wife with me,
That's right.
She's my supporter, and we got married in March 12th of this past year.
That's what's going on.
And it's solid,
Hey.
it's something solid. Like I said, there is a blueprint out there if people want to know how to live a good life. And if you follow that blueprint to the T and you learn to avoid your own temptation, your own frame of thinking, the worldly thoughts, and go by that blueprint, I guarantee you'll have a better life, man. You'll sleep better, you eat better, you'll live better, and you'll just be happy.
All right. And the struggle is real. It will always be there, but because of, our beliefs and what we do and our better halves, I do agree that it will make it a lot easier. As always, man, it's been a pleasure, man. I appreciate everybody that's tuning in, as always, and we love you guys, man. It was a pleasure having you on here today, man. God bless you. Remember, you guys, each one teach one, and don't stop there. 312-834-8020. We're here for you, and I'll give you any type of information you may have missed today, and keep tuning in. The season is almost over. Got a few more days. Love y'all. Holla.